Hi guys. Okay, so I guess I want to clarify why I'm going live. I asked a lot of you to put assumptions about me, both on Instagram and YouTube, and so I'm going to be answering those. And I also had issues with my Colorado video. It was not wanting to upload properly, so I figured I would just do this instead. Which, by the way, if you guys can let me know if you can hear me, that'd be awesome. So just really fast, because I can't really tell if it's working. So, yes, okay, perfect. So anyway, I'm going to be answering some of the assumptions you guys had. I just briefly went through some of them, but basically I wanted to do this because a lot of you, I feel like on YouTube don't know me as well as like my Instagram followers. So if you don't care to know about me, then that's fine. Feel free to just get out of this. But this is more or less just kind of, I want to talk hunting with you guys and yeah, give you some details about myself. So that being said, seems like there's a decent amount of you joining, so I'll give it a little bit of time. I'm going to pull this up and we are pretty much going to get right into it. So, okay. So these are going to be like assumptions, just very general ones. Some are going to be hunting related, some are not. And I'm obviously not hunting tonight because the wind is not good for where I'm trying to hunt this deer that I found the other day. I actually, I jumped a really big buck at a spot that I was just kind of scouting midday just to kind of find a backup spot. And I played the wind really well, so I got within like 10 feet before he jumped up and scared me as much as I think I scared him. So I hung all my stuff and left everything out there, and it's been 2 days now. So I think maybe tomorrow I'm going to go back in for him. So tonight we're doing this. So, all right. Okay, so the first assumption is, these are all Instagram ones. So the first one is can't drive manual transmission. I can, but I would say more so in emergency situations. I learned how to do it a couple years ago, but I don't drive manual regularly, so I'd probably be a little rusty. Let's see. I think black pepper is spicy. No, but I definitely don't like spicy things. I love pepper, but not any kind of like crazy spicy stuff. I can't handle it. So, all right. So the next one is, what is my biggest buck? He is a 142-inch 8-point from Kansas. Actually, shot him back in 2016. Unfortunately, I didn't film a whole lot like consistently back then, so I don't have it on film, but he's hanging in my place right now, so I get to look at him and I'm super proud of him. So the next one is I'm awkward and a bit of a nerd. Yeah, I would say I'm a little bit awkward maybe, but nerdy, I guess it just depends on your definition. I don't know. I guess I'm a deer nerd, but as far as like doing nerdy things, not really. It's just not up my alley. I bet you take a long time to respond to texts, even though you're on your phone a lot. I would say that's true. It kind of just depends on who I'm talking to and what I'm doing. If it's like messaging, I get honestly a lot of messages, so it's hard for me to just like sit down and go through them and answer everyone sometimes. I just really have to be motivated to do that. But aside from that, I don't know, I usually answer like pretty fast. So I'm pretty good about staying on top of that. Also really fast, if you guys are like wanting to ask questions, I will address those more so at the end than I will now because I just want to like get through this. Okay. All right, next one is, I think that pineapple pizza is superior. No, I don't think pineapple belongs on pizza. I like pineapple juice, but I'm not a fan of like pineapple chunks, so have to pass on that. I assume that you listen to Taylor Swift. No, I don't really like Taylor Swift's music, especially more recent. I do, however, listen to almost anything, like literally any genre you can think of. I probably know something. I really listen to music based on my mood, and I love music. I'm a music junkie. So feel free to find my Spotify and get some maybe song ideas on there because I definitely love music. This one's pretty good. I would assume you're not very pro 2A. Just because you hunt with rifles doesn't mean much. It's not true. I'm very pro 2A. I definitely am a bow hunter. Like, that's what I love to do. But I believe that we should have guns to protect ourselves. And obviously, guns are good for things more than just hunting. So I'm definitely pro 2A. All right, so the next one. I assume you're the real deal. Seems like you do most of your own scouting. That is very true, I guess. I don't really like to brag about myself or like talk myself up, but I do take pride in doing all of my own scouting. And I actually have a lot of people that ask me like opinions on how to, effectively scout different areas. And I would say because I hunt public, it's definitely taught me a lot. It's always like trial and error. I'm always learning new things. So I have been doing this for a long time, so I do know what I'm talking about, but you can never stop learning, and different areas are obviously going to be a little bit different. So scouting is a big part of I think the hunt itself. So yeah. Let's see. Okay, this one says that I assume you can read an onX map with my eyes closed, but I get lost on roads that I've driven multiple times. That is very true. I literally need a GPS to go anywhere. Like, it's kind of sad. I don't know why, my directional skills when it comes to driving and stuff is just terrible. But when I'm in the woods, it's totally different. I don't know why, and I wouldn't say I have the greatest sense of direction. I definitely can get turned around. onX has quite literally saved my life multiple times, especially out west, like Wyoming for sure. When there's not a lot of service and you're pretty far in, sometimes it's easy to get turned around. So I would say that is very true. Let's see. Assumption, you love pumpkin spice anything. No, I don't. I think pumpkin spice flavored things can be good, but I'm not one of those crazy basic white girls that's oh my god, it's fall, I need pumpkin spice. It's okay. I like pumpkin flavored things, but it's not something I kind of need to have this. Okay, so this one says that I think you like to travel more than you like to hunt. No. I do love traveling, and I love just seeing new places. I think that's half of the fun, but I definitely would rather be in the stand, ready to go kind of situation. But I feel like traveling and prepping and scouting and all of that really is a part of it. So I appreciate the whole experience. I like every aspect of it. Obviously, the hunt is the most fun for me just because adrenaline is high, your anticipation's high. So that's always fun. But yeah, I love to travel, but hunting is definitely top for me. Let's see. You don't look after your nails. They're all chipped and picked at. That is true. I have ratchet nails. I actually just picked all the dirt out from underneath them because I hung that set yesterday, so I was very dirty and sweaty. Or not yesterday, 2 days ago. So I just picked all the dirt out of them. I would like to get my nails done every now and then, but I'm not a girly girl that needs to have her nails done. And obviously when I'm hunting, that's not practical. So yeah, I don't have like nice nice nails. Let's see. You have tons of guys in love with you / asking you out, etc. I mean, yeah, I guess so, but I feel like any female who even puts herself out there in the slightest is gonna have attention. Sorry guys, but you're thirsty. So yeah, I mean, I definitely get messages and stuff, but like, I don't know, I don't really pay attention to that. If you're gonna message me like, hi, like you're cute or whatever, I'm probably not gonna answer you. So just a little tip for you. I come off as stern to prove that I can do stuff for myself in a male-dominated sport. I mean, I guess I would say I maybe come off a little bit like hard and intimidating. I mean, I guess so, maybe not. Maybe you guys don't think that way, but I guess it's just more like my natural personality. I've always just been more like chill, but also very like serious. And like when I'm passionate about something, I'm very serious about it. So I would say, yeah, maybe I am a little hard on the outside, but I can be fun and funny and stuff too sometimes. I don't know. I mean, I definitely like to do things for myself. I'm very independent. I always have been. And I think that just comes from growing up the way I did. I've always had to be independent. So hunting is just like second nature when it comes to being independent. Like I don't even think twice about asking somebody. Like I'd rather just go and do it on my own. And I feel more accomplished that way. So, and I mean, it's just like, I personally enjoy just getting away, especially lately. Like I have a lot of, social media interaction and I love it. Like I love interacting with you guys and sharing experiences and photos and all that kind of stuff. Like it's always fun for me, but hunting when I'm actually out there doing my thing, like I prefer being by myself, I think, just in general, because it's just my getaway. It's my time to just focus on what I enjoy. And yeah, so I definitely don't think about, feeling like I need to be with anybody or proving myself, I guess. So, okay, so I would say that's like the majority of the really good ones from Instagram. So I'm gonna jump over to YouTube. I'm not gonna lie, guys, I'm not even reading what you're chatting right now, so I will go back through in a minute. I see you guys like kind of blowing up. Which also, I know this might be a little like bland, like, okay, you're just reading questions about yourself. But eventually, when I'm done with these, I want to like kind of just go into my discussion for this fall deer season, kind of my plans, let you guys know a little bit more, because I feel like my Instagram, I'm able to update more daily and kind of let those people know, okay, this is what I'm doing, or this is when I'm going to do something. In YouTube, I'm one person. So for me to go out and hunt, film, get footage that's worth even watching, or that people are going to want to watch, till I come home, edit, put it together, and then post it. It's just a process. So YouTube is definitely a slower way to keep up with what I'm doing, which is kind of why I wanted to do this as well. That way you guys can kind of get to know me a little bit. So yeah, if you want to know more of my daily stuff, definitely find me on Instagram, because I update that way more than I can YouTube. It's just kind of how it works. So, let's see. Okay, so this one says, I assume you're an only child. You have a great boss that is very flexible with your work schedule, and you're not into chick flicks. Okay, so I am an only child. That's false. I have a younger brother, and he's 4 years younger than me. I'm 24, so he's 20. And he's not really into hunting. My dad kind of like forced him to go out when we were kids, and he's shot some deer and squirrels, and I think that might be it. But he's just not like into it. He's really into cars. So hunting it's kind of funny. Like in my family, it's like a joke. Like I should have been the boy. My brother should have been the girl because we just like our hobbies and interests are very opposite. So yeah, I'm not an only child. I do indeed have a great boss. I'm eventually trying to work for myself. I have a few business ideas that I'm kind of working with, playing with right now, but I do currently bartend part-time, and I also work for a company called Outguided, which is a startup. I do a lot of marketing stuff for them, and then obviously I pretty much do YouTube and my own stuff right now, which honestly is a full-time job in itself. But yeah, my bosses, like over the last few years, I've been pretty lucky. Like bartending is very flexible, so I've been able to really focus on hunting and be able to do that. And then the last one is I'm not into chick flicks. No, not really. I honestly don't watch a lot of TV or movies. If I have some downtime, I'm usually not watching TV. I mean, I watch Netflix and stuff, but chick flicks are not really my thing. I really like scary movies, and I really like just like action oriented things. I would say my favorite movie is probably I Am Legend. And so yeah, that's a pretty good one. Okay. Next one is that I assume your dad misses you a lot since you've been living out here. Probably misses taking you hunting. Yeah, I would say he does. I mean, we talk pretty regularly, and I always tell him like, "Hey, go watch my YouTube videos that I put out." He's definitely the reason that I got into hunting. I mean, I've just kind of been doing it my whole life. And he loves it, and he's passionate about it. So yeah, I mean, I always make it a priority to go home, which for those of you who don't know, I'm originally from Pennsylvania, and I'm now living in Kansas. So anyway, I make it a priority to go home for the late muzzleloader / archery season in Pennsylvania every year, just to hunt with my dad, because I don't always get to make it back other times of the year. So that's kind of just like a tradition that we always do. And so I'm sure he does miss hunting with me, but I will be going actually this year. I'm going to go home in October in a few weeks, actually, to go salmon fishing with him. So I'll be going in October and then back again for the late season. So I'll get to see him a little bit here soon. So, okay, so this one, I assume you're fearless, hooked on caffeine and venison, and you're an Android fan. Fearless, for the most part, yes. I'd say my biggest fear is needles. Like to get a shot or blood taken, I have a really hard time with that. I don't know why. I think I was traumatized as a kid and I just can't recover. But as far as like hunting wise, I'm not afraid to be in the dark. I don't always like being up in a tree. I'm not necessarily scared of heights, but I'm definitely afraid of falling. So I have like trust issues with that. I have to feel very secure in a tree if I get really high up there. But aside from that, I would say I'm not really afraid of much of anything. Like I'm not afraid of wild animals or anything. What else was it? Oh, hooked on caffeine. I'm not addicted, like I don't need it every day, but I definitely like there's times where if I'm hunting for days at a time and I just like can't function, then yeah, I need my coffee. That is for sure something that I need. Venison. I know you guys are gonna probably flip out, but I don't love deer meat. It's not my favorite. I will absolutely eat it, and I really love making roasts. That's probably my favorite way to make deer. But it's not something that like I only eat deer meat. I don't know. I grew up on beef, so it's like really hard. Like we ate our deers growing up, but like at the same time, my cousin was a farmer, so like homegrown beef is just you can't beat that. Sorry. And I am an Android fan. Honestly, I've just always had like a Droid. I don't care for iPhones. I think the user, it's not as user friendly just for me, but I don't know if that's because I've just become accustomed to Androids or what, but I kind of am like anti iPhone. So, okay. Man, I really want to read your guys' stuff, but I'm going to wait. Okay. Let's see. Okay, my impression of you / assumption is you want to be successful but stay humble. And my best trait is my work ethic. Yes. I mean, I'm a very humble person. Like I said at the beginning, I don't really like to talk about myself like I'm, a certain way. Like, this is just me sharing details about myself. It's not like I'm not trying to talk about myself in a certain way. I believe you can never stop learning, and I'm always trying to improve and be better than I was yesterday. But yeah, I'm definitely somebody that's very humble, and I'm not somebody that like I won't associate with people or like I'm very chill when it comes to that kind of stuff, and I always do my best to interact with people, which is also why I wanted to kind of have your guys' input for this video. I just feel like it's a little more personal that way. At the end of the day, I'm just a girl who likes to hunt, and that might be a little bit odd, but I really do enjoy it. It's my passion, and I'm just basically sharing my adventures with you guys. So, my best trait is my work ethic. I guess so. I don't know really what it would be, but I'm definitely very driven. So I would say like when I'm passionate about something, I'm driven. If I'm not passionate, I have a very hard time to like forcing myself to do it. So I guess it's good and bad. Let's see. I assume that you like the scouting and preparation of the hunt more than the harvest of the animal. That kind of goes back with the one earlier that I said I really enjoy every aspect of it. There's not necessarily like one part that I would say is better than the rest because I like just the experience. So the whole thing to me is the experience. And obviously like the harvest is what like kind of seals like, wow, I did it. Like I put all this work into it, so it made it worth it. But even if you don't kill, like to me, you're always learning something. So I think no matter what, it's a success. I'm very like detail oriented. So like if I'm out, I'm always like paying attention to little things where I feel like a lot of people might be discouraged. Oh, I only saw a doe and a fawn tonight. But me, like I'm like analyzing every piece of that. Like, okay, I saw this doe and this fawn come out of this particular area. So she's probably bedding in there, which this time of year, bucks and does aren't really mingling. So I would assume there's no bucks in there. So anyway, that's kind of just like how I analyze things. So yeah, I mean, I guess that's kind of like, I just like the whole deal. I love every part. I assume you're a self-taught hunter. Yes and no. My dad definitely got me into hunting. But as far as like archery and really analyzing deer and deer behavior, that is primarily self-taught. Which obviously I go alone, so I have to learn and I have to improve and kind of teach myself when it comes to really narrowing things down, especially like if I'm traveling to a new state and I've never been there before and don't know what I'm doing. I just get on my maps and I kind of just go. So yeah, I would say I'm primarily self-taught. Especially the last few years, I really have gotten obviously very serious about it, and I'm trying to share that with you. So I really have to like be successful in order to make videos. So yeah, pretty much. Let's see. I assume you're gonna kill a big buck this fall. Hopefully, I hope so. I hope I shoot more than one actually, because I'm gonna be doing a few different states, which I'll kind of get into that at the end. But like I said, I jumped that buck the other day, and I already have blade that I'm after. So I kind of have a few spots that I'm kind of keeping an eye on and gonna try to hunt. So hopefully I get a nice buck down. Let's see. See, a lot of these are just very similar. I assume you love Mexican food and coffee. I do like Mexican food. I don't necessarily love it. I really have to be in the mood for it, but it's pretty good. And it's kind of funny because being from Pennsylvania, I don't know why, we just never really ate Mexican. So, hey, Britt. Thank you. But yeah, so we never really ate Mexican, so I just never had it until I came to the Midwest, and now it's like big thing, like everybody eats it. So I've learned to eat it more, and I do like it. And coffee definitely is like, I love that. So, I assume you're living your best life, and I'm happy you can do that and not be tied down with burdens that keep you from it. Oh, thanks. I would say I'm on my way to living my best life. I've definitely struggled trying to make this work, because this is something that I really obviously have a passion for. And I mean, just the last few years, I've been through some rough patches, and I've had to work really hard for everything I've had. So I'm definitely fortunate, but I also feel that I earned it. So yeah, I mean, I work hard for sure, and I don't know, I've just always been that independent person who's had to kind of take care of myself, and I like to, hold on, I lost it. Yeah, I guess you could say I'm living my best life. I'm very fortunate in the fact that I'm able to hunt as much as I can, but I've also set myself up to do that. Not everyone can do that. So I'm lucky in that aspect. But like I said, like I believe that if you want something, then the only thing holding you back is yourself. Don't get me wrong. There's obstacles and there's things that you got to overcome. But if you really want something bad enough, then you can do it, because that's what I'm trying to do, and I'm kind of getting there. So I don't want to jinx it, but I do work very hard for it. A lot of these are just very similar questions here. I assume that you don't care about what people think of you, and you just do your own thing. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say I don't care what people think, because I am very, like I love to interact with you guys, and so I like to get input, but at the same time, I am going to do my own thing, and I believe there's more than one way to do things. So a lot of times people are very critical of me, and I don't know if it's because I'm a girl, or if there's a stigma with that, or if they just feel the need to be an internet warrior who has to throw their opinion out there. When it comes to that kind of stuff, no, I don't care what you have to say, because I'm going to do my own thing. And like I said, there's more than one way to do things. So just because something works for you doesn't mean it's going to work for me, and vice versa. I try to be very transparent with you guys and show how I do things and why I do things. And sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. So that's always a learning curve for me too. And you know, when it comes to people being critical, it does get to me at times, but at the same time, I'm like, okay, like, you know, these people have bigger problems that they need to be focusing on than what I'm doing. So I just try to focus on me and kind of leave it at that. So I would say that's pretty much a wrap up of all of the assumptions, at least all the major ones. A lot of them are very similar. So if you guys have any questions right now, I know you guys have kind of been commenting, but feel free to kind of ask anything. Oh, okay. I guess there is one that I may have missed. If I'm like pro-Trump, which I do not like to get political in the slightest. I'm very tired of hearing about it, but I would say I lean towards the Republican side, so that's what you need to know. Okay, so let's see. Let me go through some of these. Just wondering, why are you still single? I am not single. I don't really like to throw my personal life out there a whole lot, but I'm dating someone. So for anyone who doesn't know that, which I put that in one of my most recent videos, so maybe you guys just didn't catch on. I don't know. Okay, this is good. What kind of terrain feature was the big buck you jumped hiding in? So right now where I'm hunting, this is Missouri, by the way. This is the same public piece that I shot my buck in. So for any of you who have seen my buck video from last year, same general area, but it's about a mile away from where I shot him. So I guess the little backstory on that. Blade is the buck that I initially really wanted to go after. He has been hanging out in the same area that like literally same bedding that I shot my buck in. But the conditions haven't been great for me to go in there, so I've kind of just been like branching out to different spots and looking for backup places to go when conditions aren't good for this spot. So anyway, I checked this out the other day, and it's basically a field. I mean, acres and acres of just wildflowers and CRP. They kind of let it grow up. Every couple years, I think they rotate with some sort of ag field, but right now it's CRP. And it's a finger of hardwoods, but it's like kind of viney, wetland type stuff. And it's this finger that just kind of branches out into this field, and it's very, very isolated. And it's near some water, and a creek bottom is like a couple hundred yards from it. So it's very, what I would call prime real estate for deer. And I've kind of just been looking in that general area recently, but it was just the other day that I actually started going and checking it out and walked in there. I mean, it is just loaded with beds, very like thick, overgrown, just viney stuff and just wild flowers and brush, and I don't even know what all's in there, but there's a few hardwoods, and I don't know. I don't remember seeing any oaks, which is right now I'm trying to figure out what they're eating because there's not a lot of food source around. There's no ag fields like for miles. So I don't know where they're eating yet, which is what I'm still trying to figure out. But there might be a few oaks, but there's definitely some oaks over by the creek. So I think they might just kind of be traveling from there. But anyway, I set my stuff up for a south wind, which is like ideal. And honestly, that's like the primary wind for that area. So tomorrow we're supposed to have a south wind. And so I'm going to go in there and all my stuff is still hanging, like all my, I'm hunting out of a tree saddle. So my sticks are up and my like hookups are there. I just have to basically get in the tree and take my camera. So hopefully I can shoot a buck tomorrow, or at least get sightings on them. This is a pretty good spot where I can glass too, so I can see all the fields that are surrounding this finger. So I'm stoked. But yeah, that's pretty much the main like terrain. It's pretty flat. There's no like, you know, ridges or anything. It's really flat. So I'm kind of just going off of, I'm in the bedding, like right in with them. And I'm just trying to figure out where they're eating. So yeah. Let's see. I guess I'll look at some of the more recent stuff. How many sheds do you normally find in a year? Oh gosh, it really depends how hard I go. Last year I found the match set, which was Blade. That's the buck that I really want to shoot this year. And then I found, I think, 3 in Iowa, which was kind of disappointing because typically I would say if I go to Iowa, I find, I don't know, anywhere from like 10 to 30 sheds. And that's, I would say, within like a week's time. Missouri, I usually find at least like 5. But you really have to put a lot of miles on, especially on public, because some people just go in, and pick them all up. So I don't know. I mean, it really just depends how hard I go. So anywhere from none to 30-ish. Do you ever hunt Utah? Okay, let's just go through the states that I have hunted. I've hunted Pennsylvania, obviously from there. Illinois, Michigan, Missouri, Kansas, Wyoming, Colorado, Texas, Arkansas. I'm trying to go through them. What am I missing? I know I'm missing something. I need to look at a map because I really don't remember. As far as Western states, I've only hunted, Nebraska. I've hunted Nebraska. Let me look because I really don't know. Oklahoma. That may have been it. Yeah, I think that's it. So those are the states I have hunted. And I've hunted for various things. Obviously whitetails, mule deer, turkeys. I've bear hunted, but that was a long time ago. In PA. I've been along on elk hunts. I personally have never had an elk tag, but I've been a part of a few elk hunts, which is a heck of a learning experience. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Have I ever been ice fishing? Yes, one time in PA, and I caught a pike. One pike, that was it. But it was pretty fun. When are you gonna start driving the free total archery challenge truck? I doubt. I mean, okay, so for those of you like wondering, I'm dating Chris B. So he won the tack truck this year, and he bought the tack truck years ago from the guy who won it back then. So he has 2 trucks now, but I want to make this very clear. I'm not with him to like use him or like try to become a part of his persona. He does his own thing, I do my own thing, and it's always going to be that way. I mean, we're definitely going to share things, obviously, and like I said, I don't really share a whole lot of like my personal life. I like to really just like focus on the hunting side of things with my social media. So I'm not trying to take the truck from him, but I'm sure I'll drive it when I'm with him. So I don't know what his plan is, if he's keeping it or not, but yeah. So, have you pheasant hunted? Yes, I loved a pheasant hunt. Actually, in Pennsylvania, growing up, for a few years I lived with my cousins, and they had a farm. And so the state would always release pheasants every year. And so I used to just like walk out back and I would pheasant hunt very like unconventionally. Like it wasn't like a go flush them up kind of deal. I would literally just walk around with my shotgun and flush them and kind of look for them around the ponds and stuff because they would hang out. It's really fun. But it's been like years since I've done it, so maybe that would be something to do. How much do you think being with Chris has helped your archery skills? Well, we've only been dating for a few months, and like our actual hanging out time has been very limited because obviously he's doing Western tour right now and I'm hunting, and even over the summer he lives in Michigan, I live in Kansas, so it's a very like long distance kind of deal. He's definitely helped me, but I'm very self-taught with a lot of my stuff, and by no means am I an expert on archery. I'm a hunter. I'm not like an archer. Like I love to bow hunt, and I try to like always be improving on the archery side of things, but I am by no means a know-it-all with that kind of stuff. So I will say he's probably going to help me more in the future, but right now not a lot. Okay. Goodness. Let's just like maybe. A lot of people want to bash outdoors men and outdoors women. Yeah, I think a lot of people, I think there's a misconception with hunting. You know, a lot of people feel like we're just out there savagely killing animals, and you know, they don't understand it, and I don't understand why people feel the need to comment on things that they don't know about instead of taking the time to actually learn about it first. So yeah, I would say a lot of people, they bash us because they don't understand, you know, that we're actually conservationists, and we do care about animals and the survival of species and habitat and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I don't know why people do it. My best overall hunting experience. That's so hard. There's just literally so many. I mean, they're all great for their own like individual reasons. I would say I was most excited. I mean, it's kind of crazy, but I get jacked up if I shoot a doe. Like just as much if I'm shooting a buck. So my like most like take a breath kind of aha, like yes, I did it kind of moment, I would say, is when I shot my first deer in Missouri, which was a doe. But that was my first year really going at it completely blind, and I had opportunities at bucks, but I passed them because mentally I was thinking, oh my God, the Midwest, there's got to be just giants everywhere, which obviously is not the case, but coming from Pennsylvania, that was my mindset. So I passed a lot of deer that I would have been happy with. But yeah, I would say when I shot my first Missouri deer, just because like that was like I did every single piece of that. Literally no help. So that was like such a gratifying feeling. Oh goodness. Okay. Ever get that creepy feeling that you weren't alone while outdoors? Honestly, no, not really. Like I said earlier, I don't really have like fears with stuff like that. And I really haven't hunted a ton of places where I feel the need to be like watching my back. I would say Wyoming and Colorado have been the closest that I've been to like grizzly country. So that would be more like I was just in the back of my mind, like cautious of that. But for the most part, I don't hunt in places that are like sketchy. So it's not something I really have to think about. If anything, I think more about other people, and I'm trying to like pay attention to where other people are. And I really make it a point to find little niche points that no one else is at. Even if there's like one other person in there, I'm very like, okay, you know, let's re-strategize here. Which a lot of that, obviously I'm by myself, so I have to really be cautious of my own safety, and, you know, because there's a lot of weirdos out there. You just never know. Not that everyone's like that, but you just kind of have to have that mentality of everyone could be like that. So I do really focus on, you know, safety and being aware of my surroundings. But as far as like that like creepy feeling of darkness, I never really like, I don't know. I don't really have that issue. Okay. What do your parents think about what you do? Did they get you started in hunting? If not, who did? My dad got me into this, but my family, I'm like close to them, but also not. Um, which I'm not really gonna get into all of that, but they're supportive of me like hunting, but I don't think they realize the depth of what I'm actually trying to do. Which initially when I started filming, which I've been filming for, oh gosh, I mean, probably like 10 years now. But it's only been the last few years that I really have put it out there. So anyway, like they know that I do that and they think it's cool. But when I first started YouTube, I didn't really have a plan with it. I just wanted to share it with you guys, and that's obviously still my goal. Like I'm just sharing what I'm doing, but it would be really cool if it could turn into something even part-time. So they don't really know like how YouTube works and you know how serious I am about it, I would say. So they're supportive, but like I don't know if they would love it if I just like didn't work and like just did this, but we'll see. How do you like the tree saddle? I've been thinking of getting one. Right now, I've only sat in it 3 times, 4 times, I think. So I don't really have the greatest like explanation of if it's great or not. I like it, and I think I can find it very useful. Like for example, this buck that I jumped, I grabbed my stuff, and I moved it, and that was it. Like it was very like quick. Getting used to the saddle itself, it definitely takes time. So I would not recommend mid-season trying to learn how to hunt out of a saddle. Definitely, that is something you should do pre-season and get in a tree and just kind of have your bow and practice shooting and stuff like that, because it's definitely a learning curve. I mean, instead of like having your back to the tree, now you're facing the tree, so you're literally just shooting completely opposite sides, and it definitely takes some getting used to, but it's very convenient for what I'm doing with public land, just because I don't want to have to lug a whole stand in there and hang it and then be like, okay, I actually don't like this tree, and then the next day have to move it. So that's very convenient with the saddle. So if that's what you're looking for, I would recommend it. Have I ever met THP? I not really. I've seen them in person. I go to a lot of trade shows, so they obviously attend that. And I think I talked to Zach for like 2 seconds at a bar one time, and I just was like, I love what you guys are doing, like, you know. But he was being bombarded by people, so I'm not someone who's like a fangirl, like, oh my god, I need to go talk to these people. Like, I love what they do. I think THP is awesome, and they're very similar in style with the things they do to what I do. So I like to be able to compare my stuff with them and be like, okay, wow, this is how they handled it, and kind of compare notes, I guess. But as far as like actually talking to them, I really haven't like ever had a conversation. Hi, Chris. Okay. Oh yeah, as far as the saddle, I use tethered, so I have the Phantom, if that helps you at all. Would you rather a climber, tree stand, or tree saddle? I've never used a climber. I don't necessarily I don't know if I would like them or not. I don't think they're the safest thing ever. So probably not. But I think stands and saddles both have like their perks and weaknesses, and I think you just need to analyze your own setup and kind of figure out what works best for you and kind of just go from there. Okay, well, I mean, if you guys have any other questions, I'll give it a few minutes, but it's been 50 minutes now, and I feel like that's a pretty good amount of time. To just sit here and talk, but yeah, so I guess I'll kind of go over my plans for the rest of the season really fast. I am hunting Missouri, obviously, right now, and I'm going to be doing that for until like early October, and then I actually have a hunt planned with Tethered, which I'm not going to talk a lot about that because the details are still being discussed. But then I'll be doing that in October. Then I'm going back to Pennsylvania, actually, to salmon fish with my dad. And then I'm going to Illinois to deer hunt. I have a friend out there who has some property, and Chris is going to go with me there. So stay tuned for the Chris B. Kaitlyn Moss collab because that's coming up. I know you guys are like wanting that. And then from there, I guess Michigan. I'll be hunting with Chris again. I think that's it. And then after that, that's going to be like around the rut. So like November-ish. And so from there, it's going to really just depend if I have killed in Michigan. And then I'll probably like hike it back to Kansas. And I'll hunt Kansas or Missouri for the rut, just depending on the tags that I fill and stuff. And then after that, I don't have a lot planned for like late November into December yet, other than my late season hunt in Pennsylvania. So that's kind of the plan. So thanks for everyone who has joined and, wishing me luck this year. I wish all of you really good luck. And I hope that you guys shoot some big ones. And Apex Predator Outdoors, have you thought about doing a Ranch Fairy adult arrow build? Thank you for the $5. I appreciate it. Honestly, I haven't really watched any Ranch Fairy videos. I see a little bit of hype from the hunting public talking about him, but I don't know a lot about him, so I might have to check that out and kind of see what he does. Maybe if you guys want me to do an arrow build kind of thing, I already have my setup pretty well good and ready for this year because I'm hunting, so that's maybe something for next year, or the off season, or maybe pre-turkey season. That'd be a good one. So ever think of using a crossbow? I actually have killed most of my deer with a crossbow from 14 till probably, I want to say 5 years ago. In there, I used a crossbow. That's actually how I started archery hunting. So yeah, I think everything has a purpose, and you need to, think about what's good for you. Like I sometimes still use it for late season, but I mean, I just prefer compound, but I have no issues with crossbow if you're using it properly. So, okay, I think I'm pretty much going to wrap it up. So thank you guys for tuning in and watching this video. I'm going to post it, so it's going to be up for hopefully ever. So anyone who wants to keep up with what I'm doing daily, definitely check out my Instagram. It's just at Kaitlyn Moss. That's just primarily where I post. Like I said earlier, YouTube is just something that I'm one person, so I have to like do the process to be able to post on YouTube and get through it. And it takes me a while, a couple days or a couple weeks sometimes to like get all the content. So I mean, I have a Facebook page too, Kaitlyn Moss Outdoors, if you guys are interested. So thank you for tuning in, and I think I'm going to cut it here, and I will be updating you guys with my deer season as much as I can. And yeah, so good luck to everyone else who's going to be out this year, and thanks for checking in.